Spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the show that we are discussing today and want to avoid spoilers, stop right there. Go binge and come on back. If you have or don't mind spoilers, sit back with your favorite drink and enjoy.
Okay.
Do you want me to start?
Sure.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee and Dramas with your host Michael and Nadia, who just doesn't go on camera.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas is coming up very soon. Within a week.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody got their Christmas shopping done, I guess.
Happy holidays.
It's a weird time this year.
Yeah.
It's not like normal Christmas, I guess.
Sadly.
So stay safe.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
Drink coffee, watch dramas.
Or tea.
Or tea,
There's
whatever
no
you
prejudice here.
So welcome to Coffee and Dramas, as Nadia said.
Mm-hmm.
This is our sixth episode. Sixth? Whatever. Don't make fun of my speech impediment, okay? Thanks. Anyways, so welcome to our sixth episode. We are doing today. What are we doing today?
Talk about Train.
Train. This show was amazing. It was, honestly, I have to say, besides What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, this is my favorite show.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Very good. Came out earlier this year.
Yeah, back in August. In August, so literally mid-pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to have when you had nothing else to do, right?
Absolutely.
So this show starred Yoon Si-yoon, who's one of my, I have to say, my top three favorite actors. And alongside him is Kang Soo-jin, who is in one of my other favorite shows, Weightlifting Fair Kim Bok-joo.
Yeah.
Plays Nam Joo-hyuk's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then you also have Shin So-yul. She is from, I can never remember, but I've watched her in other things, and she's always amazing. Then you have the veteran Lee Hang-na, who's absolutely awesome. You have a great supporting cast with his colleagues at the police station, and then you have the villain, who is absolutely amazing. His name, oh my God, it's not really ringing any bells yet. Hold on. He is pretty awesome. Where's his name? There it is. Oh yeah. Choi Sung-yoon. He's not in too many things, but he's in enough that if you've watched, I can't even name off the top of my head what he's in, but he's in a few things, but he's great. He played this role
very well.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Yeah. But my favorite is Yoon Si-yoon, so sorry guys. So this show was when I first watched it, was surprising.
And then I watched it after, and we just finished it.
Yeah, we just finished it recently.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch it. I wanted to rewatch it. After watching it the first time, I wanted to rewatch it. But I waited because I wanted to watch it with you.
Yeah, I think it's a show that you, like, just to grasp everything, you need to watch more than once.
Yeah, because there was a couple of things, like, even watching it once, I usually remember certain things, but with this show, and there's certain other shows, when I rewatch it, kind of take me by surprise still.
Well, there was a lot in this one.
Yeah, there was a lot. The premise of the show is it's not time travel. It's parallel universe.
Yeah.
Right? And there are different kind of theories, right? So I'll start off by saying we are not scientists.
At all.
We are not you know, we do not have any sort of degree in science.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fascination with science.
Mm-hmm.
I loved science fiction.
Yeah.
I love researching science.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's one physicist, actually, Brian Greene. Oh, sorry. Whoa. Sorry, microphone. Brian Greene. He is he had a TED Talks with a bunch of other physicists as well, and he really knows how to explain things so that you can understand it.
Okay, so like a
so
dumbed
even
down version.
not I wouldn't want to say that as like it's a dumbed down version,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more in terms that we would like people that aren't part of like the scientific community would understand it, right?
Yeah.
It's not like he's talking to you like you're like a 4-year-old. You know what I mean? He's talking to you as an adult, but in terms that we would know, right? So this show plays on different like certain theories of time and space time.
Is it quantum mechanics or
quantum, like quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement? There's it because it's time, because it's space time, because it's it deals with the multiverse and stuff like that. So quantum mechanics plays a role in that, of course, because quantum mechanics goes from small. It's looking at things on a smaller level, so particles. Yeah. Right, but we're all made up of particles, so it does. Yeah. Right.
So why don't we explain how this ties into the show for those who are lost right now?
So, okay. Let's
start at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens is, so spoiler warnings. Of course, we will always have that at the beginning of the show. So Yoon Shi-yoon's character, Do Won, right?
Yeah.
Do Won. He, his father ends up. What? Oh my God! Sorry. Let me. This is really bad, guys. I'm sorry. So pretty much what happens is, he's a police officer. He's a detective, and Kang So-jin's character. What's her name? Oh my God. Oh wow, blanking today, guys. Oh my God, Seo Kyung. Oh my God, and I was in my head too. Okay, so and so in this universe, she is a prosecutor. Thank you. And so they grew up together the last 12 years ish, I think 10, 12 years, something like that.
Something. I think they're in their 30s now. So
yeah, they're in their 30s, and it happened when they were in their 50, teens. Yeah. So her dad is murdered, and then his dad is the one who was framed for his murder, but he died the same night. Yeah. So the chief of police, the detective who became the chief of police after, their chief anyways, ends up covering it up. And so Seo Kyung doesn't know this. Yeah. But she digs and ends up figuring out it wasn't his dad. But then he admits to her it was his dad. Yeah. But she doesn't believe him because of all the research that she, like all the stuff that she was looking into. So spoiler alert, she ends up dying, which was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like it was so out of nowhere.
Yeah, I watched it and I was so shocked. Like pretty much a main character just died, and I'm like,
the main
like one of them,
leads.
yeah, like I'm just like I don't understand what happened here.
Yeah, so
why?
Right, and that was like the big. I watched the first because I watched it while it was coming out, and it was like, oh my God, yeah, they can't just. Did I miss the first 10 episodes? Like, is this supposed to happen? Yeah. So anyway, so she ends up dying. And Do Won is all
Distraught.
He's done. Like he's
Yeah.
his love of, like, literally he was in love with her, and all he wanted was to protect her. Right. That was his life goal. Right. But he was in love with her.
Yeah.
So he goes to the place where she was killed, which was an abandoned train station.
Yeah.
No trains were supposed to pass by here anymore. Like, this was done. So when he went there, he was going to go kill himself, the gun to his head, and then he hears a train coming.
Yeah.
The train's coming, and he's like, what? Like, he's confused. There's not supposed to be a train that comes by here. This train track has been done. It was
It's been
5 years.
deserted,
5 years.
yeah.
Yeah. 2015 was on one of the posters. And he sees the train come, and he's like, what the hell? But then he sees someone that looks like her on the train. Well, he sees her, and that was like, either it was someone that looked like her, and it just played with his head, and then right away, obviously, he just goes.
Well,
right?
usually when you're distraught, you hallucinate once in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Doesn't he actually hallucinate though? Isn't he taking like anti-anxiety medication?
Yeah, he's taking,
because he hallucinates or something.
The side effects of the pills
Are
causes to hallucinate,
okay,
and
that
that's
makes
why
sense.
he was, because the first time he went to the train tracks where they found the body, he saw the train, but only briefly, and it went right through him, and he thought he was hallucinating.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, anyways, he sees the train, he sees her, he runs after the train, grabs the train, jumps on the train, like literally like desperate. You see the desperation, like.
Yeah.
Yoon Shin-yoon is such a great actor where you can act like no one's been in this situation before, but he portrays that desperation so well.
Yeah.
And so he gets on the train, and all of a sudden, it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
Right? There's people that are after him,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know it yet. But they're like, the cops were after him and stuff like that. So he ends up getting off at the station that he was at that was abandoned.
In a parallel universe.
But then he comes in and there's people there, and it's
Yeah.
a parallel universe. So he goes not really back and forth, right? He only does it a couple times and not on purpose.
Yeah.
And then his other self from that parallel time ends up in his time, in his universe. And
Very well portrayed as well.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
like the bad boy of his character, and holy shit. Sorry. It's just like the fact that he can go from this character to that character is just unreal.
Yeah, and then he did the scene where they were together.
Yeah.
Right? Where his jerk self was being a jerk to him.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting because I've seen him, because Yoon Shin-yoon has played twins in a show called Your Honor, where one is a very cold-hearted, emotionless lawyer, and the other is a criminal, ex-convict, like funny, like comedy. And on top of that, okay, let me finish that. So Yoon Shin-yoon is usually comedy.
Yeah.
He usually does a lot of comedy, a romantic comedy, like Psychopath Diary was like an amazing show, but it was a comedy, but like at the same time it was like it was about a guy who was literally killing people, right? And then Yoon Shin-yoon's character ends up thinking that he's him. Okay.
Oh,
because
what?
he ends up with like amnesia kind of thing.
Okay.
And then he had the serial killer's diary with him. So he was reading it thinking it was his. Anyway, so he portrays, in Your Honor, he portrays twins.
Yeah.
In Hit the Top, he plays two different versions of the same guy, of the same person. So he plays the idol that goes from 1993 to 2017.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Right? But then when he goes back, he goes back to 1994 to meet himself, right? But now he's a completely different kind of person.
So he has a
Right.
thing for playing two different types of people and playing on timelines.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Libra, so he can do it. I'm not surprised. Like their personalities can they're the balance, right?
Yeah.
They can do one or the other. And Geminis are the same way. They can do the same thing where they can play dual
Yeah.
roles as well.
Okay, so back to
So
like quantum
okay,
parallel.
so back
all
to
that
all the
scientific.
science stuff. So I'll explain it in a way. So the way I want to explain it is more of a science meets spirituality kind of way,
Okay,
and the way that I see it,
accepted.
right? So there are different theories. There's different actual scientific theories, okay, about the multiverse, parallel dimensions, space time and time, right? Yeah. So space time is one. So time and space, it's one. Yeah. It's one thing. But what's interesting is that the different theories. Actually, one thing that I was actually watching the other day, Brian Greene, the physicist, he himself, he pretty much explained, he's like, there are no such thing as paradoxes in science.
Okay.
Because if there's science are theories that are worked out on mathematical equations.
Yeah.
Right? And math is always not absolute, because obviously we would figure out everything by now, but there's still things that we need that
They haven't figured it all out yet.
Yeah, obviously not. 'Cause
Essentially.
it's always a progression.
Yeah.
So these theories, there's other, so there's the multiverse, right, where there's parallel dimensions,
Yeah.
right? So there's parallel views, right? There's multiple views, just like the movie The One with Jet Li,
Yeah.
where his character goes from universe to universe to
I haven't
universe,
seen
killing.
it.
So he goes to one Jet Li goes to another parallel universe, kills Jet Li in that universe to become stronger. So it was like a sci-fi kind of thing.
Okay, so it's similar to the show.
Okay.
Spoiler, like later on, anyways.
But and the one he gets
Yeah.
stronger in each one, like he's just
Yeah.
getting more powerful. It's like
Okay.
an added like twist to it, right?
Okay.
So there's parallel universes, which I'm gonna mix this up. So the parallel universe theory is that there are multiple universes of different versions of you,
Yeah.
right? Different versions of the world, right? But the way a better way to explain it is that it's these parallel universes are created by the choices that you make, right? So instead of we'll say, we'll use the show as an example,
Yeah.
okay, which is the great example. There's a scene in the show where Do Won meets Seo Kyung for the first time
Yeah.
on the street corner where it was raining. Okay, in one universe, and this was the whole thing where they thought this is where the world split.
Yeah.
In the universe A, in world A, Do Won gives her his umbrella
Yeah.
and then runs off into the rain. In the other, in world B, he doesn't give her the umbrella and keeps going, right? So that's that's where they thought the world split there,
Yeah.
right? So that's essentially how it works, right? So you have multiple choices every time you do something, and it's not just like, oh, what am I going to eat for breakfast, right? Kind of thing.
It's more significant choices in life.
Exactly. It's a more significant choice where it's like, if I go right to go down the street to take the bus, am I going to catch that bus to get to the interview that I was supposed to make today?
Yeah.
Or do I go left, down the street, catch a taxi and make it to the interview on time? Or do I turn back, go home, try and get a ride from somebody there?
Yeah.
Or do I go straight? Or do I go, you know what I mean? Like the different choices, each choice splits, right? Creating a new universe, a new timeline, right? So each timeline is completely different.
They're also parallel, so they're all going at the same time.
Yeah, so everything happening at the same time. So once that split happens, everything's happening simultaneously,
Yeah.
right? So each time you come up with a choice or you know what I mean, where like a fork in the road, like the saying goes, when you reach that fork in the road, which way do you go? Well, you're gonna go both ways either way,
Yeah.
right?
You're just
The only thing is like your consciousness, your consciousness, I said it, is the one that you're in right now.
yeah.
But at the same time, your consciousness is a part of that timeline. So
Absolutely.
sometimes that's where the deja vus come from, right? You're like, oh, I've done this before. No, it's because you've done it in the parallel universe, and then you're just seeing it now in your head. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if they thought the fork in the road was giving the umbrella and they realized that it wasn't, what was the turning point in both of their lives that kind of split them off? Or what do you think it was?
So in my perspective and like the way I see how life works is that you're supposed to meet the people you're supposed to meet no matter what. So whether you meet them now or in 10 years, you're supposed to meet this person. Okay. For those two, they were bound to meet no matter what. So even if they didn't meet that, so because they thought that was the turning point, that they thought, oh, he didn't give the umbrella, and then she finds out later. Spoiler warning. You know what? I'm not gonna say it anymore. And they figure out he actually went back and gave her an umbrella.
Yeah.
So that was their first meeting,
Yeah.
and they needed to. That was a pivotal part, because if he did not give her an umbrella, she would have went straight home, and the murderer would have killed her.
Yeah.
That wasn't the turning point, because she wasn't supposed to die that night.
Yeah.
Right? And she's not supposed to die. That's the whole thing. She's not supposed to die yet at all for quite a while.
Yeah.
When his dad died, getting hit by the car, that was one of multiple outcomes of that situation that he was in. So in that universe, in universe A, he dies. In the universe B, he doesn't die, but he still dies later on because he was supposed to die eventually.
Sad.
Very sad. Sorry, I sound like a jerk right now, but like it's
called fate.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Right? So the split really happened. See, that's the thing where you have to you kind of think like, okay, where did it, you know, where did it veer off, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, because of the choice that the chief made that night in World B, right? His dad went to jail.
Yeah.
They didn't meet again at the funeral.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't meet again on the train tracks where she wanted to get hit by the train, right? They didn't meet again when she was getting sexually assaulted by her stepbrother.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't meet those times.
Yeah.
Right?
So what if the fork in the road wasn't actually the umbrella? What if it was the chief police, Miss O,
yeah.
deciding what she wanted to do, and like the dad actually surviving and the dad dying, right?
Yeah, it's possible. It's quite possible. And well, I mean, no, 100%. That's quite really possible, because that's where in one universe she decides I'm going to cover it up, and the other universe she decides she's not going to cover it up.
Yeah.
Right? Or not she's not going to cover it up. She frames the dad.
Yeah, frame the dad. Dad died. There's no one to like object it. So end of story, pretty much.
Yeah, but she doesn't, like in World A, when he dies, she doesn't frame him.
Well, no, but
She
they
covers
blame.
it up.
No, but they blame him anyways.
No.
Do they not?
No. She covers it up entirely. Did you not notice that? She covered, like, so that's why she never knew who killed her father.
Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. Sorry, guys.
Right? So, but that's it. That's the choice that she made there. Kind of like shifts it. It's like the choice that she made goes, right?
Okay, so what if that was the thing that shifted everything, though?
There's more things that they could have decided to happen, or she could have like at the end where she's like, I tried to I tried to arrest him when he came in. I tried to do this and I tried to do that because she was hopping from parallel universe to parallel universe.
Yeah.
Right? So
Maybe you should just stay in your freaking
well,
universe.
yeah. But I'm pretty sure that was a turning point for all of them because they were each one of them were affected by that event. So that was the turning point. So each decision that Miss O took was.
So I think it had to do with Miss O and not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She kept trying to blame trying to blame Do Won, but Miss O was the issue.
Yeah, she was the.
Yeah.
She could have been removed from the situation.
So the show plays on actual theories of parallel universes,
Which is amazing.
Right? And they did it right. They did it, from my understanding, from whatever I've read and whatnot. They did the parallel universe thing very well. Very well done.
So, from what you've looked into, is there an entryway to parallel universes? Like, can we jump?
There's
Like full body and everything, and not just mind. Like, is there like a train somewhere that we could hop onto and like go to another universe?
I mean, I can't say for definite, sure, but they've spoken about it in quantum entanglement and stuff like that.
Because like I'm looking for that train, guys.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because yes, it's weird because so what they discovered in quantum mechanics in the it's called the split experiment.
Okay.
Is that the same particle can be in two places at once.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right? So that gives you an idea like, oh, so if the same particle can be in two places at once, does that mean we can be in two places at once? It can be in two different universes at once, you know what I mean? Like kind of thing. But it's such it's craziness.
Years of studying would probably.
Man, yeah. Like I props to them. Like all friggin' respect to be able to be able to have their minds think like that. It's insane. It's insane.
It's technically theoretical, right?
Everything's
in a
theory.
sense.
Right. Everything's theory, but all the science is backed by mathematics. Like, physics is backed by mathematics. That's all theories that they can write out and figure out through mathematical formulas. Right. So the theories are concrete theories. Yeah. Right. So that's why like spirituality and conspiracy theories, it's not backed by concrete formulas and whatnot, because mathematics doesn't change, right?
So I think spirituality is getting there, though.
Well,
I think
there's
like
a lot of links between
side
science
of it, right?
and there's a lot of links between science and spirituality. I'm just saying that there's no mathematical formulas to back spirituality. You know what I mean? That's like the key thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's so back to like the theory. So this show works on the parallel universe theory, right? So timelines. Sorry, just lost my train of thought again. Oh, I keep doing this. I'm so sorry, guys. I hope you guys keep listening. So there's parallel universe. There's the space time. There's time. That's okay. That's another thing. This is the theory of time, right? So Miss O was jumping parallel universe. Yeah. But she was also going back in time.
Yeah, which I didn't get. Like, how do you?
Yeah, that was a little, and they didn't expand on that. There was no,
which kind of sucked.
Yeah, but I mean, they just wanted to kind of get her out of there and then continue on with the actual story that they're telling, which is understandable. But I mean, if they gave us another episode, it was only 12 episodes, which I mean, it was perfect length, but kind of sucked because the show was so great.
Yeah.
Maybe another episode would explain. They could have explained her going back.
Well, yeah. So what didn't make sense to me was like, how did how did you kind of choose the time? Like, you can't choose the time that you're going back to on the train.
No,
So
exactly.
how did she manage to jump from timeline to timeline to timeline?
That's it, right? That's what I don't really understand
Yeah.
that one.
But like I honestly it was very thought provoking. The ending was great. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
liked,
yeah.
like, again, it was like, how did they get to this other timeline? Like, it's there's so many questions that like you want answered, but you don't at the same time because it ended well and you're okay with it, but still.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is, and it was well done.
Yeah.
The actresses were phenomenal. Like Yoon Shi Yoon is amazing. Kyung Soo Jin was great because she plays the like you can tell. So when she was always angry in the world B, to when she started to because you see her progression. What was the
Yeah.
best part? You saw her progression throughout the show.
Yeah.
You know, so you saw how well she can go from just angry and mad and like there's a lot of anger in her and it's understandable. She has someone murdered her father.
Yeah.
They told her it was this person, and so she hated this person for so long, and then she finds out it's not this person. So you saw that shift where it was like she goes from angry to confused.
Like, wasted all my anger.
Yeah, kind of like I waste like not only not wasted my anger, but I wasted my life being angry at this
Yeah.
person, right?
Yeah.
Which is not something. It's not something you want to do. You don't want to live that way, right?
No, you get nothing out of it.
Exactly, and that was the thing. And she kept like, as angry as she kept getting pointed to different people. Oh, it was your stepbrother. It was your dad. It was his dad. Then it was your stepbrother.
I think
And
that was
like,
also like a great thing of the show. Like, you could never guess who it was.
oh man, that took me a while too. And I
Like-
was like, oh. And then at the end, when you find out Miss O
Yeah.
was the one that was dumping the bodies, you're like, what the
Yeah. Also, if you think you guessed it, I think you're lying.
yeah, all right, yeah. Don't even try, guys. Don't even try.
Yeah, Miss O was a nutsy character. Her son, honestly, like, I felt bad for the kid. Like, her son, it was such a like. It would have been, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was such a great character for like an evil villain.
He was, and he had, and what's amazing about his character is that he wasn't like, don't kill. You shouldn't be killing people in general, but the reason behind his murders were because of his mother,
Yeah.
right? So he had Huntington's disease,
Yeah.
right? Which pretty much your mind deteriorates.
Yeah.
You lose your motor
memories.
functions, your memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. You start dementia starts to kick in at one point. So he starts seeing his patients, and there's his patients that he's killing because they remind him of his mother.
Yeah.
Right. There was something wrong with them, right? Anxiety and all that stuff. So in his mind, he was dying every day,
Yeah.
right? He was constantly like dying. So it drove him to the point where he wanted his mother to feel that pain that he's feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, she also abandoned him, like,
Well,
at an
that's-
older age too.
Yeah, and that's all he wanted was for her to be a mother.
And she never was.
And she, instead of the choices that she made, he wanted her to make the opposite choice.
Yeah.
Right? And she just couldn't grasp that. She just wanted her son to live. She wanted her son to just, but she couldn't grasp that.
It's also
idea.
really interesting that It took her what? Like she jumped like 6 parallel universes or something?
6, 4, 5, 6,
Something like more than 2.
I think 4 or 5.
Okay, 4 or 5. So
Yeah.
4 or 5 parallel universes. It took her that many to figure out why he was doing this. Like why he was killing people, why he unfortunately killed himself in like the world B.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you have just gotten him help? Like if you knew he was doing this, why not like be proactive and be like, even though you're a psychiatrist, let's take you to a psychiatrist.
Yeah, well, that was another one of her mistakes, is that she was not doing what she should have. Like, it seemed to me, anyways, that she kept making the same choices in each one of the worlds.
She just wanted him to live, and that was it, and that she didn't care who she hurt.
But I'll go back to spirituality, is that you're supposed to sometimes, and I know how bad this sounds, is that sometimes you're supposed to go through certain things. Things are supposed to happen to you that you will most likely not like.
No.
To learn the lessons that you need to learn through life. And sadly enough, for his life, and that's why his life kept ending the way it did.
Yeah.
Was because that was bound to happen. You know, and it sucks because sometimes you and like mental health is such a it's so important.
Yeah.
Right? As someone who dealt with,
as 2 people who dealt with,
as people who have dealt with this type of,
crippling
it's
darkness.
Yeah, it's really hard. And for those who, go through it every day, who are battling their demons on a daily basis, we know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
We
know how hard it is.
We continue to do it. We continue to make sure our kid doesn't go through it. We make sure that we support each other through it. And I mean, it's such a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I have to say that we are 2 lucky people to have. We have each other in the sense that we can talk to each other about this kind of stuff, and we can work through it together, whereas a lot of other people just don't.
Yeah.
If you don't seek help, it doesn't make you weak. Makes you, if anything, makes you stronger and helps you get through it a bit easier.
And it is hard. I know it's hard to ask for help. That is the
hardest thing.
The hardest thing. Literally, the hardest thing is asking for help. And I will tell you straight up that once you ask for help,
it's easier.
It gets a little easier.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's 100% easier. No. Fuck all that noise. It's a difficult path that you have to go through, no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether you want to avoid the problems by drinking, doing drugs, whether you want to, forget about it and drown yourself
in your sorrows.
And you need to go through it. And once you come out the other side, you become a stronger person. You become more aware, more understanding of life and who you are. And it's not something that takes a couple days, a couple hours, a couple months. It takes years and years. And just waking up in the morning
is an amazing accomplishment.
And then
and getting out of bed.
Yeah. And you'll hear this a lot. Getting out of bed is number one thing.
Yeah.
You get out of bed. If you can get out of bed and literally just walk to your living room and sit down, pat yourself on the back.
Honestly.
It is honestly an achievement, right? So unfortunately for his character, he was bound to go through all that hardship in each timeline. And it sucks to say that he didn't receive the help that he needed. It was his mom was in each timeline, and she knew what was going to happen from the previous timeline.
Yeah.
Wasn't making the right choices to help him.
Yeah, like
know?
Instead of stepping in and
but I'll also
stopping it.
but I'll also say that he didn't tell his mom what exactly he wanted. Right?
But see, that's a thing though. Like,
so that's
should
where
he have to?
He shouldn't have to, but sometimes, sometimes people need to be slapped in the face and be like, "This is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what I need. Just help me." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like sometimes people don't get those slight like signals or those little nudges and the little subliminal messages that you say to people.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't hear your cry for help,
Yeah.
right? Because those people are too oblivious. They're not focused on you, right? So, and it's not that it's a bad thing that they're not focused on you, but they're not aware.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not, I know it's hard to say, I know it's really hard. Like it's really, really hard. And sometimes your cry for help can be drastic.
Yeah.
Someone is bound to listen.
You hope.
Right.
You hope someone notices.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to,
On a lighter note.
Yeah, on a lighter note, so it's a big subject, and it's it is a touchy subject, but it's an important subject.
It needs to be
us.
spoken about.
Yeah, it's a very important subject to us. If you have any comments, you need to reach out. You want to talk to somebody, send us a message on Instagram, Facebook. Well, our email address is somewhere on social media. You can send us an email.
Yeah.
We're always here. We got nothing better to do. Don't worry. We like to talk. But yeah, so back to the show. So the different theories. So spirituality. So the way I see spirituality is that things that there are certain things in your life that have to happen, that are unchangeable, right? And those things need to happen for your learning, right?
Yeah.
It's your learning curve, right? Which in the show pretty much shows you that in parallel universes, they're bound to happen either way.
Well, yeah. Look at
right?
one of
his
partners. Has a limp in World A.
Yeah.
And then he goes into World B, sees him, and he's like, "Why? Where's his limp?"
Right. And then later on, he gets that limp, right?
Yeah.
So everything is bound to happen. So, and then you see how influential when you do certain things. So when he saved the kid from stabbing the other kid, right?
Yeah.
When he stopped him from killing another kid, he ends up being a police officer and working for him. Yeah. And in Universe B, he wasn't there. Right? And the kid ends up being an ex-con, and then he ends up killing a cop. And you know what I mean? Like, it's
sad.
It's sad, and it shows how much of an effect where you think you don't make much of a difference.
Yeah.
But
you could change someone's life.
Yeah, it's that butterfly effect, right? Where one drastic change can change everything, right? And so, but that's the different paths, right? That's the different universe, the timelines, right? Another theory is a fun theory, in my opinion. And if you think about it, maybe there's no. So the past, present, and future are all
Going at the same time.
they're all going at the same time. They're all working simultaneously. So what's happening in the so the memories that you have of the past, okay, of you running around as a little kid, you as a little kid running around is happening right now, because it did happen, but it's happening at the moment because you're thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's why Miss O was able to jump from past to present, past to present kind of thing, you know?
Possibly, yeah. That's probably what it. That's maybe that's what it is. You know what I mean? They should explain that more. It would have been so much more interesting. But yeah, so it's a really interesting theory. So what you're doing now and what's happening in the future, because the past has already happened, but so does the future has already happened, right? Or is happening or will happen, but it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is nuts and amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's really odd. It's a really crazy theory, but interesting nonetheless. Science is a really interesting thing. Even if you don't understand like the mathematical equations or whatnot, I'll put links down below for a couple of TED Talks, one with Brian Greene and a bunch of physicists, and it's incredible. They talk about quantum mechanics and a couple other links too. They're very interesting. Like, I mean, for someone who I have, grade 10 science is the last science I took, because in grade 10, our teacher decided that she couldn't handle our class and left, and we had a substitute teacher for the rest of the year, and I didn't learn squat. You know what I mean? Like, I had my friends teach me what I had to learn in school, and then after that, I learned it on my own by actually doing research. So don't ask me physics questions about velocities and all that stuff. I can't do equations, but I understand the theories and all that stuff behind it. But yeah, so the show. Yeah. I will always recommend the show. This show was my top 3.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I have to say this show is one of my favorite shows. English, Korean, Arabic, my favorite show.
It was a very kept you on the edge of your seat type of show for a lot of it. Yeah. And it was great. Yeah. I would recommend it too.
I would acting was great, obviously.
It's always great, guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a couple. Yeah, there's a few shows that I wouldn't recommend.
We'll have to talk about those too.
Yeah. You should definitely check out Yoon Shi-yoon and his other shows,
where he's acting as 2 people.
Yeah, even as one person. He started a long time ago in High Kick 3, I think it was. But he did all comedies until he did this one. That's why I was really excited for this one, because when they announced it, I read the story. I read like the quick synopsis, and I was like, oh, this doesn't sound like a comedy.
Yeah, and he did very well for someone that's only doing comedy.
Man, he did amazing.
I was like floored by his bad guy side and then his nicer guy side.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, definitely recommend. Definitely look. It's science is great. I love science. I love spirituality. Spirituality is a big part of my life. And you can kind of see a lot of the spirituality in the show, right?
It's not like it's not like spoken about, but if you know a bit, then you can kind of pick up on it.
Yeah, because like everything happens for a reason. That's not a science thing. No, it's more of a spirituality thing. Yeah, right. And in the show, they really show everything that's happening happens for a reason, and everything and she just keeps making him think it's his fault when it's not his fault. It's just the fate of their lives.
Yeah.
Right? It was bound to happen no matter what. Right? Sometimes you just can't stop it. But So anyways, I think I can go on forever with this.
Absolutely.
Because there's different parts of the show that's great. So I will leave you with saying how great it is. 10 out of 10. I have to say, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I think it's my favorite show by far. By far.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Links to Quantum.
Check out the links
stuff.
below.
If you need help, there's also links down there for hotlines and such.
We'll put all that in the description below.
Or just reach out to us. We don't mind talking.
Reach out. We're here to talk. If you have any comments, if you have any, if you don't like what I said on the show or ever, just comment down below. I don't mind. I'll hear all your criticisms. If you want to yell at me, go by all means. Like, it's the internet. What do you
expect?
I don't know. I would get offended by by your opinion. It's your opinion. You can have your own opinion. That's all up to you, man. I don't want you to think the way I think, and I don't want to think the way you think, because then we won't be individuals.
Dun, dun, dun.
So thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas. Maybe Happy New Year. We'll see if we do another show before the new year. Yeah. If
enjoy
the holidays. Stay safe.
Stay healthy.
Wash your hands. And
eat food.
Eat lots of food. Oh man, don't drink too much. Please drink responsibly. And
just eat food. Don't drink.
Enjoy the time with your family and friends.
If you get to see them.
We love you.
Bye.
Peace.